Hey everyone, welcome back to more Flesh and Bad, and today I want to do some more practice for the upcoming Pro Quests. What I'm thinking about doing for this week is actually just turning this into like a Zen week, mainly for two reasons. One, that I want to get some Pro Quest practice, even if it's on any kind of like variants of Zen. Two, I want to actually basically just get play him while he's still legal. Again, I think the deck is still a lot of fun, especially with like some of the newer innovations lately. So I want to kind of give him a test. Yeah, so for this iteration of the deck list, I think it's basically the same as yesterday. This is kind of the rough shell I want to test. Some of these blues might honestly change around. Like, I think the Biting Breeze might become the Harmony Hunt in the end. But, like, for the most part, I think these blues are, like, good enough. Definitely maybe, like, a little bit weak in a new, but we'll kind of work with that. And yeah, let's go ahead and just keep playing this deck. Give it a shot. I'll try to get some matchups that are not Aurora today, because I know that I like the Aurora matchup because it gives me good practice in Aurora for ProQuest, which I think is very valuable. But I know that it does get a little bit repetitive after a while. So let's see if we can get some non-Aurora matchups today. All right, so we got a Marionette. I generally like going second in a Marionette. I'm debating if Quick Dodge is even worth it. I don't feel like it is. Like maybe, I don't know. I feel like they go super tall as opposed to like wide or anything. So let's bring in our React package, cut our 2 blocks, and then what else are we doing? I do feel like I sometimes go a little bit heavier on reacts into Arakni than I would like. I feel like a lot of them are on crown too over like just the normal headpiece. So maybe doing something like this kind of makes sense. Um that seems fine. We can maybe even cut like a wind chakra for like a cosmic just in case. I feel like that almost never happens, so maybe let's just leave in the wind chakra. I've not yet run into a CYB fatigue marionette, but that might be one concern, I guess. All right, Clave's coming in. So it turns out the CNCs might have actually been all right here. Let's go ahead and just throw Chase in front. I don't actually want to throw Chase in front of it. Yeah, I throw E-Strike in front of it and maybe react something and then throw Chase in, like sync Chase for later. I feel like I'd rather lose an E-Strike early than anything. All right, so for this, I think we're just going to park levels in front of it and then just sink below and just try to get max filtering here. I think that seems all right. Very likely they have at least one pump or something here. All right, turns out not, but still fine to just use up our cards. All right, another sink below. I think I'm actually okay not cycling the sink below just because like it's kind of fine. Just have for the turn after my first turn basically. I think it's okay. All right, so we do have chase aspect here. I mean, we might as well play. It does suck to lose our pouncing paws, but like I think resolving chase aspect is better than pouncing paws. I normally do think it's correct to play it if you have pouncing paws up and you have chase aspect. Like it feels like you just lose. Like otherwise, what are you doing, right? You're like sending this in for 6 or whatever. Feels like it's way better to send what is it, 14? Yeah, 14, and you lose your pouncing paws, but you get a shitload of damage. Basically turns pouncing paws into like +8 here or whatever. All right, I just noticed they flipped into Tarantula. That's also good info. Some days I still think one of the questions I think I'm still trying to answer with this deck is wax on, wax off worth it over just like blue flick, red flick? I'm still like back and forth between that question. I feel like they're very similar in terms of like value proposition. I don't know. It looks like they're going to get the guaranteed flip here, maybe in the Black Widow or whatever. All right, seems to be the case. We at least are going to be sitting on sync below, which is nice. Gives us a little bit more control over blocking and everything. All right, so pretty good turn cycle. Gets Arsenal sync below. They are Black Widow, which is definitely scary. But we have double wax on, so I guess it's a little bit less scary. All right, so Kiss of Death. Normally with Kiss of Death, this almost entirely means that they have the what do you call it? They have the oh sorry. With Kiss of Death in particular, what you have to be careful about is the card that like buffs your deck Tarantula Toxin. I think is that the card Tarantula Toxin? I don't know. The one with the Arakni Tarantula on it. I think it's Tarantula Toxin or something. Alright, so there's Snapdragons. Take up the mantle. Which doesn't do anything currently, but is +3 at least. And then there's the Black Widow. It's coming for 9. They do have the opportunity to get Codex here, or like after this, especially if they're like they have something else they want to be doing after this. So I think I will just try to double wax on it. But turns out that's a pretty good answer. And if they go for like Codex or something, we can like sync. That's pretty good. Like sync the aspect, try to find something better than the homage. Aspect's like not terrible to just send as like a 0 for 3 though. And then we can just Arsenal homage. I think there's merit to that. All right, so there's Foot Command. Oh, we have to banish it. Oh, that's actually pretty sick. I forgot that that was a thing. So with that Arachne Black Widow, if they flick knives, then we have to get rid of a card anyways. Sure. So we'll get rid of the aspect here. It's pretty nasty. That is pretty good. But not the end of the world here. See if there's a codex or not. All right, no codex is fine. So they revert back to normal Arachne. I think we'll just pass back. Holding on to homage is pretty good, especially when we have like a wax off in hand. Like getting a Calycera seems good. Ooh, Saver is going to be nasty though. I think they might just be drawing the card off of this at this rate. This is coming in for 9. Yeah, I don't think there's a real way to block this, so I think we'll just let them have it. Pretty big attack, though. I feel like these Arakni Marionette lists get scarier and scarier. Ooh, toxicity as well. Very gross. So, toxicity is on just the next thing. Okay, interesting. I feel like blocking 6 here is reasonable because they're not going to have like real go again, and then we just have double react to cover this. So I think I'll try to bait them into going for something here. All right, so targeting their dagger. Sure. All right, marking us again. All right, there's Justinic. And then we'll cover with the wax off here. Toxicity there was kind of interesting. Wonder why they went for that. Like, I feel like, what did they, when this hits, they're maybe just banking on the bonds hitting or whatever. Interesting. Definitely a very aggressive start from our Arachne opponent there. I think that them using the Mask of Deceit that early just to guarantee the Mark of the Black Widow. Like, Mark of the Black Widow with the combo on the dagger, like Kiss of Death, is like actually like kind of disgusting. I think that's the first time I've ever seen that actually happen. But maybe it just doesn't line up that way like very frequently. But I think like them intending to do that does make a lot of sense. Right. Is that the third Kiss of Death, by the way? Or no, I think what I thought they played a third one at some point. Okay. So Kiss of Death coming in again. Yeah, against Kiss of Death, we almost still just never want to block it. Maybe we'll block with like Sync Blow, but I still don't want to play into like Tarantula Toxin all that much. Alright, so they're probably just gonna give a go again here and then flick it and then do a bunch of stuff. Alright, double go again. Sure. So I guess the question is, what is their last card? I think I might take the opportunity to try sync and filter just a little bit here. Seems very likely that they're going to have another attack that they want to play. If we can find like a transcend card, I think it works out pretty well for us. Right, Calicera pitching Justinek. I'm curious why they went for this instead of just Arsenal Justinek. Huh, very interesting. I think we'll basically just pass on this. Oh, right, so they get the extra, like, 2 damage. I guess it's like they're getting 3 damage either way. Justinek is like 5 damage. I don't know. I feel like Justinek is pretty good Arsenal target, maybe? Alright, gain some resources, and then send in the Tiger Brigade. Still just sitting on Sync Below for insurance against Codex, because again, they don't have CNC yet. So it's pretty good at just stuffing a Leave No. I do think playing around Codex in this matchup tends to be quite important. I feel like a lot of these Arakni decks are also kind of built a lot more like Azalea recently, it feels like. And pitching Toxicity, getting back Dagger, seems good. This might be a hand where we're just trying to block out a little bit, because like this is not really doing very much for us at all. And then hopefully maybe they play something after this that we can like use up our sync, and then maybe block Traverse or something. I don't know. Could still block Traverse on this and get another chase resolved. I think that might be worth it. Yeah, I think that might end up being worth it. Still sit on React, and then we just get to send a nice hand here. I think that's okay. Alright, so we're playing Harmony Hunt, getting Chase, and then playing Pouncing Key at the end of it. Seems kind of whatever, but kind of alright, I guess. Not like the highest damage turn of all time, but still better than nothing, I think. Could also throw Kakara in there as well if we wanted to just get a 0 cost. We could get that, do we have that Key Unleash still in here? Let's actually check that real quick. Okay, we did not bring Key Unleash in, which is probably smart. Yeah, I guess we're gonna stick to the original plan and just get Chase here. Do 1, 4, 3, 2. It's like fine. I've not been super impressed with Blue Pouncing Key in specific in a lot of my lists, by the way. I think it's fine as like a 1 or a 2 of, but if you run too many of this card, I feel like, especially in matchups where you're not bringing in Pouncing Paws, which tends to be actually like above average in terms of like how many matchups you're like not bringing in Pouncing Paws, it tends to be a lot worse, is what it feels like. All right, got a nice little life lead. Let's hope we can kind of keep it. Still have the Sync Below and Arsenal. This hand's pretty good. Like block 6, play Sound the Alarm, ideally. Right, Persuasive coming in. So we kind of care if they hit a red. If they don't hit a red, though, we don't really care about either of these blues. So what does this feel like? This feels a lot like they're just going to Bonds of Agony me. So there are a couple things this feels like. One is either they just like hit the take up the mantle, they buy back Bonds of Agony, they hit us like that. The other option I feel like is they hit us with Stains of the Redback or some Go Again, because obviously like this is not great. I feel like we might want to commit a couple cards here. Commit Pouncing Key or what happens? Like, what if we just like double block on this? They don't really have like a way to snipe cards out of our hand, and then we can like Sync Below to maybe cover. I'm gonna like actually kind of respect this Persuasive, because they have to pump it somehow to give it Go Again in the first place, right? And also, obviously, Marionette's ability does give Go Again as well. All right, so there's the Stains that we were predicting. So I think we cover this well up until this point. All right, there's Tarantula Toxin, which is not bad because this is not a dagger attack. So now the question is, do we want to let this hit? So you have the Sync Below, but they are going to be able to then, in response, get like Leave No off Codex or whatever. I feel like we should maybe just take the loss on this turn and just accept that this is happening. Because I still want to just hold on to Sync Blow so we're not just like hemorrhaging value. Alright, so that's fine. They hit a Tradition. We have a Sound the Alarm in hand, which we're probably just going to throw in front of anything they send at us. Alright, picking up the points. Seems like a good opportunity to block. Alright, Codex. No Codex. Alright, sounds good. So we basically know that their arsenal at this point is not Codex, which is kind of valuable info. I think we did lose like 3 damage from that turn cycle, but that was like a pretty good turn cycle for them, and they also did have to spend like a decent amount of resources. They did buy back the dagger, which is kind of unfortunate. Feels like a lot of times they've been playing the dagger, they've been able to get it back immediately, which is definitely quite nice for them. Alright, dagger is fine. We have double react here, so we should be pretty safe from attacks. And then we can maybe just do like 2 and 4 or whatever. Which is not crazy, but it's better than nothing, I feel like. I feel like these last couple hands we've not also been drawing like incredibly well. It's been like fine. Alright, coming in with Reaper's Call. What does this mean? This also feels like it means take up the mantle. I guess we will commit to some number of blocks here. Because Tiger Swipe's not doing anything for us, right? And so there's Spike, sure. Anything further? Okay, Tarantula Toxin as well. Alright, and then our choice is we can like wax plus drop. So this is gonna get go again. We could also send like Gust Wave and then pay into the Blood Rot, which is just about as efficient as doing this. I guess we will wax this on. Feels weird. And then maybe just eat the Blood Rot, pay into it, and then see what they do. Still playing around Codex a little bit here. But they've definitely been sending a lot of like really efficient 5-card hands at us for the past couple turns. I feel like our turns have not been like incredibly efficient to match. We still have a lot of breathing room though if we can like find the chi or do something here. We kind of just are waiting to hopefully blow them out with Codex is kind of the plan, or if they have just kind of an off turn, that's kind of when we can capitalize. It feels like the last couple turns have been very much kind of on turns. All right, blocking there makes sense. So get them down to 4, and then we'll just pay into the Blood Rot. Right, this is a very good hand if we can keep it. But they are on a 4-card hand now, which is good, which means signals to me that their hand is maybe a little bit weaker, especially if they're like getting rid of the Orb Weaver. All right, Toxicity is scary. And to pick up the point. So this is the next Assassin or Ranger attack action. So we now have to block this. Assassin or Ranger. Yes, so this is an Assassin. So we should just throw the Breed in front of this. Do they even have a way to pump this? I don't think they do. I'm trying to think of a single card that pumps pick of the point, but I'm kind of coming up blank. I found the first CNC, which is fine. I'm at least glad they did that while we have a good hand instead of like a kind of mid hand. But that definitely does hurt a little bit. We've been sitting on Sync Blow for so long to cover Leaveno, assuming that they draw into one of the 3 codexes, but they drew into the CNC first, which is unfortunate. Let's go ahead and do just path levels, though. I was thinking about maybe blocking with armor and the levels there, but it doesn't really make a ton of sense, I feel like. All right, grab Malinki. And now we're basically going to put our pressure on. Draw buff, it's really nice. Okay, that might turn into a Zen State. Zen State is pretty good against Marionette, especially if they're like flicking stuff. Which is basically how they're going to like try to close out the game here, I think. So we do 5-2-1-5. Clear their hand. Could also IP with Chi. It's like semi-reasonable. Alright, so there's Trapdoor. Alright, just getting a lair. Does make sense. Might as well just get the free mark. So we have the option to do 2 into 5, which will basically also clear their hand. And if we don't play the tiger, then we can put it in arsenal so we're not getting codex. I do like that. Because this mauling will basically either guarantees all armor and then a card, or it guarantees well, I guess we could just send in the tiger. We get our actually, it might honestly be correct to arsenal Chi. Is that crazy? All right, first time ever we're arsenaling the Chi. I think it might actually be correct. Because all we want to do is basically just play around discarding codex, and they have 3 of them left, right? So if we can just strip hand and then arsenal Chi. Like, I guess if they like block out here, we just IP with Chi. But if they keep 1 card and like block with armor, then maybe it's correct. All right, so it seems like it's maybe not going to be necessary there. So we're not going to arsenal Chi now. But like if they blocked 5 armor and then kept something, I feel like that might have been correct. Kept 1 card rather. All right, cutting with Clicera, so I think we'll just let them have it. Remove the mark and get 2 damage, but I think that's fine. All right, let's go in with the Kara. I think this hand basically just wins. All right, seems like they found their codexes finally. We were playing around it like pretty good though, so I don't know if they really had a great opportunity to codex. I feel like we're probably just gonna arsenal the E-Strike here. E-Strike is sometimes so awkward. Like we're already presenting like lethal breakpoints here. I don't think E-Strike necessarily helps, so we might as well just keep it as an arsenal. All right, we don't win this turn, but we do get all their armor out of them, and then we're setting up for next turn, which should be pretty good. And then Harming Hunt will definitely get the job done. But we might even be able to like bottom the tiger to like E-Strike or whatever. That would be pretty good. But we probably also don't need to do that. All right, finding their codexes once again. A little bit unfortunate for them. All right, do draw, go. All right, drawing a Chi is very nice. So this hand probably just kills like several times over. All right, grabbing. What was our last attack? Those levels. I guess we can just get a pouncing key or whatever. I don't think it matters very much. 2 into 2 into 7 should definitely get the job done. Yeah, and that was actually like a pretty good Arakni game. I think they played it pretty well. One thing, so they had CNCs in the deck, which is definitely something to be cognizant about. I do think that this version of Arakni sometimes doesn't run CNC, but I have seen like I think it's pretty good in a Zen if they can resolve it. But I think with like Codex in particular, like I think that like we hadn't seen a CNC until that point in the game. So I think sitting on that sink below, assuming that they're going to draw into a Codex at some point and then try to go for leave node does kind of make sense. We did unfortunately get punished, but I think by the time we got punished, like it didn't really matter. So that's at least like, I think pretty good. All right, I think there may be some micro stuff that I did kind of learn from that game, but yeah, let's go ahead and see if we can get another. I think we played that for the most part correct, but maybe some minor things here and there that I wasn't like super happy about. All right, let's go to the next one. All right, we haven't played against a new in a very long time, on the channel specifically. I do actually like to play this matchup in on like my own. It's pretty fun. All right, so we're bringing our wax on, wax off. Just bringing that, that. Level seems correct. I don't typically like bringing in weakest link into new. It's like fine though. It's like maybe okay. Then how many blues are running here? Oh crap, I might need to actually count out. This should probably be fine though. Running 66 cards. May cut 1 weakest link. We'll run a singular copy and see how that treats us. And then no quick dodge. I don't think that's super worth it generally. All right, we're going first, which is definitely a little bit of a disadvantage, but we will try to get some hand filtering here. Probably just going to arsenal the wax off because it's just a pretty decent coverage onto like certain things. All right, they're running the Scale Peeler plus Spider's Bite combo, which is a combo I haven't seen since I think like early days of Misfail. Normally what I see is beckoning plus spider bite or something like that. So definitely interested to kind of see what they're cooking. All right, Siren's Call and Persuasive both out of the way is definitely good for us. Also seems like they're going to give us a Rousing Wave. Sure. So based on my initial assessment, since they're not fat decking, they're probably not CYB new. All right, Sacred Art on this hand is definitely a little bit unfortunate. So probably not CYB new. Just because I feel like normally I see CYB new go a little bit over 60. But we'll definitely see here. All right, Art is Our Mind is fine here. Don't think there's a strong reason to block, so we won't. All right, Just a Nick is fine. All right, seems like they're going to go for the hand banish. Also fine with us. Sure, so what do we want to do off this? Or like, what are we going to give them? I feel like we might just end up pitching Sacred Art this next turn. I maybe also want to throw Pouncing Paws, but like this isn't like the best use of Pouncing Paws, I feel like. So let's maybe give them... I feel like Aspect is less important than Pouncing Key, so let's give them an Aspect here. All right, double Just a Nick, sure, why not? Get it out of the way early. That's A-okay with me, I think. Pretty solid turn from them, and they also get to draw a card. Well, they were pretty likely to draw a card, right? But yeah, pretty gristle turn one there. But we do have two Justinics out of the way, which is maybe some benefit. And I guess it wasn't on like a Bonds, it was just on Art is Our Mind, which is like kind of fine. Definitely not ideal for us, I feel like, though. I think if there's anything I regret about that last turn, it's maybe not just throwing Pouncing Paws in front of it, but like Pouncing Paws isn't like, I guess it's like pretty good there. We get an extra like 5 value or something. It'd actually be like 6 value. I think that probably is worth it. All right, Scale Peeler coming in. We almost never block Scale Peeler, so I'm definitely happy to see them on it. Right, and the Bite as well. So unfortunately our Pouncing Paws is like not doing a ton this game, but that's kind of fine. Right, into a Bonds. All right, so what is the ceiling on this Bonds? I feel like 8's a pretty good number because they pump for 5, and if they have like a +3 in hand, it's pretty good. It's probably gonna suck though. There's not really a really great way to give them stuff on this. I guess we get their Arousing Wave out of the way, which is nice. Kind of almost feel like block like this is correct. But then they just mask us and we're sad. I don't know if there is a really great way to deal with this Bonds, but this might be correct. Because like if we keep, there's no way we're keeping blue and Weakest Link, right? So I think maybe this is correct and just make him fight for it. Not a huge fan of this though. Maybe we should have just made them go for it though. I don't know. I feel pretty bad about that. I maybe block 4 on that was correct, and then force them to use a Rousing Wave or whatever. Because then we just like are giving them value. I think that's probably wrong. All right, need to shake off the new rust here a little bit. All right, this hand's good though. Potentially set up a Zen state, and we can transcend. All right, let's see if we can recover a little bit from this position. Okay, double or Siren's Call, obviously annoying. I guess the question is like, how do we want to give it to them? Could just double transcend and then they take whichever one they want. I think it's fine. feel like the last turn we should have made them use a Rousing Wave. I think that was the biggest mistake there, I think. And now they get to take a Chi. I'm assuming. Right, into Persuasive is fine. I feel like we'll just go for the wax on, wax off on this if they try to pump. God, the Scale Pillar is actually doing like a fair amount of work just because we're not able to use Pouncing Paws, which is like so annoying. All right, so they did have Just a Nick plus the Bond, so I feel like maybe blocking the way we did was like kind of okay. All right, we'll go ahead and fight for it though. Somehow, I think that block maybe last turn wasn't that bad. Assuming that they could go for it. I don't know. I need to think about that block a little bit more. It definitely feels like maybe forcing them to use a Rousing Wave just to get it out of the way is like good though. I am happy to have a Zen State out at least. So do they have a Codex target? They do have a Codex target. So maybe we should just Arsenal Tiger here and get Mauling. Arsenal Tiger is pretty good against CNC and stuff like that. So happy to do that. Or I guess not. It's not even good against like normal CNC, but it's good against like Codex and a CNC or like Codex and Libno. It's mostly for Codex, I guess. It's kind of a good way to think about it. But we're still kind of hanging in there this game. I don't like they've seen all three Justinix, and now we don't have to play around that card anymore, which is kind of like the benefit. And we've also seen two Sarin Skulls out of the way. So I feel like despite us being at a little bit of a tempo disadvantage here, like we've got some actually really impactful information. Oh, they're also running Censor too. Jesus Christ. Is Censor like a card that people just run in new now? Or is that like specific to Zen? Feels like it's a lot more specific to Zen, maybe. This kind of feels like an old style kind of new list. All right, go ahead and Arsenal Tiger. They got a 4-card hand, but they are fighting through Zen State, so their daggers aren't as good. Oh, we can blow them out here. Well, we can't really blow them out all that much. So they're targeting Wax Off with that, and then they're preserving Persuasive. So we could target that, but I'd almost rather not do that. Almost rather just use it on my turn. So I think we're not going to go for the... If they just had a singular... Like, if they're just singular transcending off of Preserve and not doing, like, double transcend, maybe we go for it. But I feel like if they're doing that, then it's probably not worth it. All right, so this is Censor plus Mask Banish. Pretty solid. So we're banishing Sound the Alarm, playing Sink Below, and then Wind Chakra in a chase line, presumably. Could also like blocks. I guess it doesn't really matter. We should just block with the Sink Below. All right, so Sink Below this. Get rid of nothing. And then just banish the Sound the Alarm. They pump over on this, it's going to be a little annoying. But it's not even that bad. It's like kind of bad. But then a Rousing Wave is out of the way, so maybe I'm kind of okay with that. All right, seems like they're not going to get greedy here. That does make sense. All right, but very happy to resolve a Chase the Tail here. We are going to go off an Arsenal, but I think that's maybe okay. All right, so let's go ahead and banish their 1 copy Alivno here. They do have Censor still, which is like actually not that bad off Tunic. Then let the Wind Chakra resolve. Then let's go ahead and just play out Tiger number 1. All right, Weakest Link as well. This new is definitely prepared to kind of gatekeep Zen from LLing here. And then play out the chase. 3-4-4, pretty good. I do think that we definitely made some misplays pretty early on in the game, so I'm definitely interested to see if we're able to recover. All right, pass back. They get a 4-card hand. See how good it is. All right, this is pretty funny against Persuasive, so I think we're just gonna do it. No blocks. Okay, so it seems like very likely we're getting rid of a red here, or getting rid of like CNC here. That's fine. All right, let's see what the pump is. 2 venomous, sure. Mess me up. Let's do it. Oh, they hit a red too. Boo. I guess it doesn't matter that much. I mean, it's definitely good for us if they hit a blue, because then we can do like ground aspect and arsenal chase. But I guess now if they take like one of our 0-for-3s, then we just arsenal chase or whatever. Like it kind of works out regardless, right? All right, so taking chase makes sense. So many chases are out of the way. We have so we don't have anything great in banish yet. I guess they have like pouncing key. And then one chase gone, so we have one chase left in the deck. So we might as well arsenal the aspect here and just attack in with our 0-for-3. So they have one Siren Skull left that we have to be a little bit cognizant of. But beyond that, we're pretty okay. They've also seen all 3 Jestinix. I don't know. I feel like there's some things that are going actually kind of well for us. All right, go ahead and pass back. All right, redraw into chi is very nice. How much chi do we have left in the deck? We have a Passover still, right? Because we pass over Windcharger, so we do have Traverse Live if we need it. Hopefully we don't, though. All right, starting off with the Peeler. Again, no real reason to try to block Peeler. It's going to be annoying, but it's still kind of fine. All right, so they get their last Siren Skull resolved. Definitely unfortunate. So they're probably just taking the Flip Chi. Oh, they're taking the Unflip Chi. It's probably not correct, but I'll allow it. All right, double pitching Bonds of Agony, so we don't have to worry about Bonds of Agony for a very long time at least. So that's nice. This does still potentially feel like a Codex turn or something. Or leave no turn, that does make sense. So this can easily be pumped. I don't think there's any real reason to commit anything into this. I think we're probably just going to do something on our turn. Do like get one of our maulings or something. Yeah, it seems fine. We'll just lose the aspect here. No reason to, I think, double block this for 4, especially when they just pump over super easily. Alright, Incant is fine. I think you just gotta play this matchup a little bit patiently. Kind of wait for their disruption to whip, and then you kind of pop off. I do think that we've been getting not the best variants, but not like the worst variants either. All right, so let's get Mauling Key here. We can then arsenal like Pouncing Key to play around Codex. They don't have a CNC yet, so that is pretty decent. Yeah, that's fine. Could also go off Arsenal. They still presumably have 3 CNCs left, which is they have 3. So they have 3 CNCs and 1 Leave No left, right? So I guess the question is like, do we want to play around Codex this turn, or do we want to maybe take an off turn to like dodge CNC? I feel like we'll take an off turn to dodge CNC maybe. I feel like keeping Arsenal every turn is like a way to lose sometimes, especially if they are just trying to like disrupt your Arsenal or whatever. They have Codex here, that's unfortunate. We basically just never got our kind of like disruptive plays to line up with their disruptive attacks. But we'll see what they do here. All right, stiletto block, another react. Sure. So still at a 7-point deficit, but we do have all of our armor. So that is important to note. All right, this is a very good hand. This is probably going to be the hand where we're going to commit to it and just try to go for it. They don't have CNC yet, hopefully, so I think we'll just throw this in front of the Scale Peeler. Scale Peeler has actually been like somewhat annoying this game, which is kind of crazy. It's normally a card I just kind of ignore for the most part. All right, so this is definitely feeling like a Codex or a CNC or something. So if it's Codex, then we discard 100 Winds, we block with Wax on, and we're fine. Sure. So I think that's okay with us. All right, there's Codex number 1. So unfortunate that we went off an Arsenal on the turn that they wanted to Codex, but that is how it is. We could also get Chase here. Could get another Chase here, and then just like Arsenal or whatever. Pouncing Key is also kind of tempting. Kind of hope that they aren't able to like chain Codexes at me. Let's get Pouncing Key. Discard 100 Winds, block with Wax on. I think is the play. Oh, they're getting a Weakest Link. Oh, shit. That's bad. That's bad. I guess now we have to like give up armor. That sucks. Oh, I forgot about Weakest Link. I feel like I've... Oh, there's only one copy too. Yeah, that's something that I just missed. That's okay though. Oh, game is maybe not the best new game I played into, but they've also had kind of some weird draws, I feel like. This is a hero that I'm not gonna miss being in the game, let me tell you. We at least got to resolve 2 Chase-a-Tails this game, which is definitely good. Maybe not enough. I feel like into the non-CYB version of new, you have to like, it's such an uphill fight versus like the normal CYB new. Like you have to do a lot more work, it feels like, to kind of make up for the difference in just like tech cards basically. And then we can choose to play out this Pouncing Key or just hold it in case they chain codexes at us. Which do we want to do? I guess it's only 3 value now. Maybe it gets more value. So I guess we'll just pass. This could be a pretty good hand. Blocks dagger pretty well, at least. All right, let's see what this is. Bonds of Attraction, coming in for 1. Do we care about this? I feel like we don't. We had like drop plus rising. This feels more so like they're gonna just mask vanish or whatever, which is fine. I think I'll just let them have it. All right, so that's how they give go again. That makes sense. Sure. Oh, plus a venomous bite. Interesting. So coming in for 5. Oh my god, are they going to chain the codex at me? That'd be so disgusting. You can kind of pretend like it's not Codex in Arsenal, but it definitely does feel like a Codex in Arsenal, or at least a CNC or something. Yeah. I guess we do probably want to go for a block or something. Maybe not on this, maybe on something else. If it's Codex, we just let them have it, and then we can just double transcend, do that. I think we'll start with Rising Sun drop and then see what we draw into. Alright, Sound the Alarm could be good. Let's get rid of our Sacred Art because it's not doing us any favors. And then this is Codex. What do we do? Maybe just block this a little bit extra. I think that's also maybe fine. I don't know if using the React there is correct. Still just have the Arousing Wave up because of that one turn that we kind of fucked up. We should not have given 6 block to that. All right, so there's CNC, which makes sense off the 2. Pretty solid turn from them. So I think we're just taking this. And then we're going to do our best to kind of climb a little bit uphill here. Do you think I could have played this game a lot better? Definitely, I feel like a matchup that on camera I have not played a lot of. But on the side, I feel like I played a little bit more. All right, do we want to take an off turn for Codex? Maybe also. Could be good. Yeah, I think taking an off turn on Codex is maybe all right. Just hope they don't have it. We're still sending like basically lethal here. So that's at least comforting. Blocking with 2 hiss is also pretty solid. And then we get to take a peek at the last 2 cards in hand. Okay, let's take a look. So it's just TNC. Okay, we dodged a Codex turn. Wait, this is actually really good for us, I think. So they might just like block with blue Arsenal CNC or something. Like we now can just play around CNC for infinity, right? Like we never have to do anything. So if they just send it, then we're fine with that, right? Okay, there's maybe some hope for this game. I've been dooming, I think, a little bit hard, but we finally got them to whiff on Disruption, which is awesome. So, God, I hate this hero. I hate this hero so much, but it is kind of interesting, some of the decisions. I feel like I could have definitely made a lot better. Like, I'm not even saying that this is on the hero design itself. Like, I feel like I could have blocked a little bit better at certain points of the game. But I do think that, I don't know, there's just so many tools that, like, they have weakest link, sensor, Siren's Call. Like, there's so many tools that they have that, like, we don't have into them, basically. Like, all we can have is, like, D-Reacts and Stag. All right, how do we want to start this off? So, I think it's just Tiger time, right? So notably, we don't have a chase, and we don't have like a 1 cost we really want to get, right? We have swipes left, right? We have 1 swipe left. So it's probably just going to be Sacred Art into swipe, and then we'll Arsenal a Tiger and play around a Codex now. Send some annoying breakpoints at them. Then we can also like sneakily pump this Tiger. We actually probably, sorry, we probably shouldn't have attacked the Kakara, but it might not matter here a ton. We probably should attack the Kakara later after we pump the Tiger, because I think this is getting buffed by Shuko, so it would be coming for 3, which is like not efficient. All right, we'll go for the pump. But I think we probably should have ordered the breakpoints here a little bit better. But I guess it still kind of works out for us because we're going to be able to just send a bunch of 1s at them. Oh, that sound the alarm was actually like kind of insane. Not the sound alarm itself was insane. Like I think the sound the alarm was like just a 1 for 5. But like the information of just like seeing them just have a CNC in hand is like so sad. Because now we're basically just going to get them to block out here. And I think it is worth pouncing pause to just strip another card out of their hand. Like this ends up being very, very good for us. So this should basically get max cards out of hand. They might not even be able to block all of it if they don't have a 4 block. It seems like they maybe don't. All right, stuck with 2 Transcend cards in hand. God, I don't think I played that well. I'm gonna like first observation, don't think I played that well. Second observation, this does seem like a very solid new deck, specifically into Zen, with like the full package of Sensor, Weakest Link, and then just the normal good new stuff of like Justinic, Siren's Call, like all those cards. But I think so. Despite us, I think punting on that 1 Bonds of Agony turn, I think for the most part we play that well from that position, and just trying to get them to basically whiff on Disruption. I think that there's basically a lot of turns into new where you basically want to make them either have one thing or the other thing. Like the turn that we played around, like the turn we went off an Arsenal to play around Codex, we're basically saying like if you don't have Codex here and you have like a CNC or whatever, I don't care, right? You have like 3 CNCs left in the deck. So we basically had to make like a 50-50 choice of whether or not they were going to have the disruption there that they needed. But I think that by and large, you do have to kind of like choose your spots of like when you want to play around like Arsenal disruption. Like you can't just like keep an Arsenal forever and basically expect to kind of do well unless it's like react on Arsenal or whatever. But like for the most part, you do have to like choose what disruption you're kind of playing around. If you get hit by the other disruption, then you're kind of like out of the game or whatever. But I think for the most part, like at a macro level, we play this game well. I think there's some like minor stuff that we can definitely like clean up to kind of prep for the pro quest a little bit. So I think that's probably gonna wrap up the video for today. So we got some good games into assassins, which are definitely some of the tougher matchups in the game, just for any aggro deck, right? So I think just knowing when to pick your spots into assassins is very important, and also just like having a good game plan. It's okay to like mess up on the micro level some turns, but I think if your macro level game plan of like just trying to like take value lines and basically just kind of like make them whiff on disruption, I think if you're following your macro game plan, you can still kind of win games off of that. So I think with that, I'm going to wrap it up for today. So thank you all for watching, and we'll do some more Zen Proquest practice this week, and maybe some other kind of fun Zen stuff as well. So anyways, thank you all for watching, and see you all next time. And a special thank you to all the folks who decided it would be a good idea to give us $2 on Patreon. We really appreciate the support, but it's obviously never required.